All right, folks. Before we get into this shit, bro, go ahead, follow nigga on Twitch, follow nigga on Twitter, Instagram, join the Discord, my niggas. But hey, fuck, damn, y'all T was the Canada shit. I ain't gonna lie. Boy, no sending me all type of Canada shit. But hey, shit, we right into this shit, bro. Goddamn, first celebrity gangster, South Asian Scarface.
Open
Post
warfare
on some
on our
savage shit.
streets. It's something we have never in the city of Vancouver ever had to deal with before.
There were the Assange brothers, Ron and Jim, who would later have a falling out with Bindy Johal. Not only was this organized crime, but it was orchestrated. It was a public showing off, if you will, one that's not been seen since.
And when there were finally charges, no one could have written the twist that happened during the court case.
Hey guys, in today's video, we're gonna talk about the notorious gangster from Vancouver.
Bro, I thought that nigga was just talking, bro. Holy shit, I thought that was that nigga right there talking. Oh shit, I'm like, what the? That nigga voice deep as hell.
And during the court case.
Hey guys, in today's video, we're gonna talk about the notorious gangster from Vancouver, BC, named Johal, aka Bindy Johal. He's known by many to be the first celebrity gangster in the Metro Vancouver area. Ever since I made my video on Driftwood's ties with the Brothers Keepers gang based in Vancouver, BC, I've gotten many requests on doing more videos on places in BC, as well as specifically Bindy Johal. And after looking into who he was and finding out just how insane the story was, I thought it was worthwhile to make a video.
He must have been savage.
That doesn't directly have anything to do with Toronto, so let me know in the comments if you would like to see more videos about Canada in general in the future. As I mentioned before, Bindy Johal was a well-known gangster, not only to police but also to many people in the area, because of how infamous of a character he was. When most people are under investigation and are receiving lots of attention from the feds, they understandably normally try to lay low for a while. Well, Bindy seemed to enjoy the fame that came along with it, with him regularly going to clubs and knowing that the police were following him everywhere he went. He became a famous figure through his public views on the media and interviews with news networks, as well as how he was a leader of a gang involved with a huge gang war and was essentially the face of the Indian gang problems in Vancouver at the time.
Oh yeah. But he was one of them niggas. They did not care about like they didn't care about shit, bro. Like he one of them niggas, bro. He ready to do some crazy shit. This one of them niggas you don't want around you at all. Like stay away, bro. Like stay far away from me, bro. Like he's welcoming that shit. Like he want the fame to come behind this all this gaming shit, all that crazy shit, bro. He want it. He enjoy it. Like this is life for him. He one of them niggas. He one of them niggas. He ain't trying to make it out the hood. Like, folk. Oh, hell no. This nigga dangerous.
With him reportedly making $70,000 to $90,000 a week at the height of his career. But even with him obviously being a criminal, many people see him as a hero, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the video.
A hero?
Let's get into it. Bindy was born in the state of Punjab in India and immigrated to Canada with his family when he was 4 years old in 1975. When he started secondary school in grade 8, he appeared not to have any problems, but as the years went by, he found himself earning a reputation for himself in the East Vancouver and in his school, Sir Charles Tupper Secondary School. This reputation was gained by his acts of violence and lack of respect for authority. In grade 12, he got expelled from his school for assaulting his vice principal, resulting in him being sentenced to 60 days in jail. Apparently, his vice principal was lecturing him about his attitude, which turned into him questioning Bindy about his alleged gang activity, to which Bindy responded with kicking him in the groin. The kick was actually so hard that his vice principal was rushed to the emergency room. His gang connection that his vice principal was referring to started...
Nigga. He kicked that nigga so hard. Well, his balls must have exploded or something. I know y'all, all my niggas, I know y'all felt that pain when you get hit in the nuts or something. Like, fuck, that shit make your stomach hurt. Like, that pain, that shit, like, insane. He must have hit his ass so, bruh. His shit must have exploded or something. Like, that shit must be insane. He must have really kicked this shit out of him with some steel-toe boots or something.
With one of his first and most significant crime associates he met in that same school. His name was Faizuddin. Faizuddin was a member of the Los Diablos street gang at that time. Los Diablos was a mid-level criminal organization that sold drugs and completed the violent contracted work that larger groups like the Lotus Gang tried to avoid getting involved with. In the 1960s, Los Diablos was mostly made up of people who spoke Spanish, but the gang became more multi-ethnic over time. It got to the point that when Bindy joined the gang in the late 80s, its members were almost exclusively of South Asian descent. Leadership of Los Diablos was held by Ron and Jimmy DeSange. Ron was said to be the brains of the organization, while Jimmy was the muscle. They bought narcotics in bulk and used their network of dealers to distribute the cocaine to customers across the city. Bindy was one of the dealers. When Bindy was asked in court about his relationship with Jimmy DeSange, he said, quote-unquote, "I was a small-time drug dealer, he was a big-time guy. Wherever we went, we got respect because everyone was afraid of him. He was a big shot, and when I was beside him, I was a big shot." However, everything started to change when Jimmy DeSange was arrested with the murder of a Colombian cocaine trafficker. When DeSange was awaiting his trial, Bindy and Faisal decided to start working on their own and created their own gang. They began buying cocaine in bulk and selling it on the streets in direct competition with Ron DeSange and the Los Diablos. It was a really bold move, but Bindy knew that Ron was vulnerable at the time due to his brother being locked up. The plan actually ended up working so well that some of the Los Diablos members left to join Bindy and Faisal's gang.
Oh,
There was
hell
a
no.
slight peace between the rival gangs for a short period of time until some dramatic events would take place and bring Bindy to the public eye. It all started when Bindy's associate Faisal was arrested for the murder of a man named Parminder Chana. On the night of October 12th, Faisal called Parminder to set up a meeting, telling him that police had uncovered a credit card scam that they were operating. Parminder was on his way to work a night shift at a salvage yard, so he told Faisal to meet him there. When Faisal arrived alongside a man named Rajinder Banji, Parminder knew that the meeting wouldn't be about credit cards. It turns out that Parminder was dating Rajinder's 17-year-old sister, and he wasn't very happy about that. According to a court testimony, Faisal held Parminder down while Rajinder stabbed him 53 times. But where things get even more extreme is that 2 days later,
Nigga. To stab a nigga 53 times, you gotta have some real hate in your heart. Like, you hate this nigga. To stab somebody 53 times, you hate that nigga. Like, nigga, stabbing somebody 53 times, bruh. That must be your worst enemy. You're going at it. Like, you're, man. Like, what did he do? Like, that was that bad. Like, you really didn't want that nigga dating your sister. He was stabbing the shit out that nigga. Like, holy shit. How old was he? Damn, I don't know.
Ginger's sister committed suicide by jumping off of a bridge.
Damn.
She left behind a note saying that when Parminder died, I died. And as you can imagine, this was heavily reported on by the
Holy
local news,
shit.
causing everyone in the community to become aware of it. Now, where does Bindy come into this? Well, there was actually 3 witnesses to the murder. Obviously, the
He did that and then he lost his sister. Damn.
2 co-accused, Faisal and Rajinder, as well as another man named Sanjay Narain. Apparently, Sanjay was known to brag to women about his criminal activities and to freebase cocaine. Due to this, Bindy decided to silence him. Police heard many variations of how it went down, but they all went down something like this. On a December night in 1991, 2 cars pulled up to a road leading to the top of Cleveland Dam in North Vancouver. Young men in their early 20s got out and walked along the top of the dam on the Capilano River. They were expecting a drug deal to go down, but in the distance, a shadowy figure appeared. He wore a long trench coat. As he approached, he drew a gun, pointing it at the head of one man in the group.
But we got niggas popping out the cuts like they Michael Myers and shit for all type of goofy shit, bruh. Well, I'm not meeting nobody in no abandoned, like, some random ass road with dark. I'm not meeting nobody in no suspicious places, bro. I ain't gonna lie, for that's why I can't be no nigga that's selling drugs and shit, bro. Like, them real big drug dealers, like, we got me in this dark ass alley where nobody can see us, for. But I'm gonna bring 1,000 niggas with me and shit, and you come along. For I can't be no big ass drug dealer, nothing like that, for. I can't. I'm gonna be too paranoid, for. I feel like any moment somebody finna kill me. Like, it's finna be, I feel like it's one of those, for. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you gonna have too many enemies. You gonna have enemies you don't even know about. Like, that's so dead.
Although police have heard various versions of what happened that night, investigators believe the man in the trench coat was the notorious Vancouver gangster, Bindy Johal.
Nigga popping on with
Sanjay's
trench
body
coats.
was later found in a river under the dam he'd be thrown
Like,
off
what?
of. Of course, Bindy was a prime suspect for this, and was obviously starting to get a lot of attention from the media and people in the community after they heard the tales of a local Romeo and Juliet type story, along with the story of a mysterious man in a trench coat who threw a body off of a dam 300 feet in the air into a river. At this point, Bindy was gaining fame in the area since he was a notorious gangster that was a regular at many nightclubs, even with police following him everywhere he went. But that was only the beginning of the story, because at around the same time, Jimmy DeSange was released from prison. Witnesses at the preliminary hearing for his alleged murder refused to testify against him in court. So due to a lack of evidence, his charges were dropped and he was once again a free man. When he got out and heard about the news of one of his former lieutenants starting a gang that was a direct rival to his own, he obviously wasn't very happy, so he hired a hitman to take out Bindy. To this day, nobody really knows how Bindy found out about the hit on him, but he ended up paying the hitman twice what he was going to get paid to kill him to take out Jamie DeSange instead, which he ended up doing.
Nigga, what?
The community was convinced that Bindy was responsible for this.
But what is all the twists and turns? Niggas having a bidding war? I ain't gonna lie. Damn. Well, do y'all think when the like he sent the nigga to kill him, then he ended up paying him twice as much to go kill him? Y'all think when he went back to kill him, y'all think he like offered some more money, like, or he just, or folks ain't even negotiated nothing, he just shot him? I feel like that nigga went back there and told his dad, like, phone them just all me, like, I ain't gonna lie, bruh. Phone them he just offered hella, he just gave me that bag to kill your ass, bruh. I ain't gonna lie, bruh. So, if you don't up some more money, bruh, I'm finna kill you, bruh. He had to. Ain't no way he finna just walk in and kill him. Ain't no way. He had to at least get a nigga a chance, like, hey, give me some more money or I'm gonna kill you. Like, it had to be. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I would've, if I'm in his shoes, I'm doing that, folks. Hey, I need some more money, folks. Phone them some nigga. Phone them trying to send me to an NBA contract, folks. I ain't gonna lie, bruh. Shit, the Bulls just offered me like 90 mil, folks. I'm gonna have to switch teams. Like, but you gonna have to match the offer or something.
Murder, which was actually such a popular belief that he was invited to appear on the news to talk about what this killing meant for the future of the gang war in East Vancouver. During the interview, he said,
"This Jimmy DeSange, they portrayed him as a hitman, this, that. I mean, I guess he was a very serious person. From what I've seen of him on the street, I personally think he couldn't have hit his way out of a paper bag."
Next, they went to Ron DeSange's
God damn, folks on savage shit.
To try and uncover the truth.
I know they're trying to kill his ass.
Of disrespect to say about Bindy, saying,
"If you want to talk about nobody, if anybody's a nobody, buddy, maybe that's why your life is worth a loony on the streets today. I wouldn't shoot you in the back, but I'd do it right face to face, square in the forehead."
So obviously
they saying all this shit on camera. What the fuck going on in Canada? Well, I thought the rack, folks. I thought Chicago, we trolling, we dumb as hell. You know what I'm saying? We all, they be saying crazy shit on the internet. All type of dumb shit, folks. Nigga be over. Oh, y'all ass ain't get back for your homie. All type of folks. Y'all niggas on TV talking about some, I'll run up on you, shoot your ass in the forehead. Damn, you on TV. Nigga, this ain't YouTube. Nigga, these niggas on TV. Like, everybody in their cribs watching this, folks. They on the news saying this shit. That shit say Global BC. What? Y'all was too savage.
Back and forth trash talking on the news was making a public situation even more public.
Y'all too savage.
After this, there were drive-by shootings, nightclub shootings, and shootings in the street. And 2 weeks from the time of the interviews, Ron DeSange himself was shot dead in a drive-by shooting.
Damn.
He was reported to be waiting for a traffic light to change when a shooter came beside his truck and started firing at him with an AR-10 assault rifle.
Oh yeah, they got that going. He have a chance.
Cemented Bindy's reputation as Vancouver's first celebrity gangster. The violence kept escalating from there though, because after the murder of Ron DeSange, Bindy decided to go into hiding and hired his neighbor to watch his dog for a couple weeks while he was gone. And tragically, while the dog sitter was taking the dog for a walk in the park, a hit squad started firing at him with an AK-47, resulting in him being killed. News reporters were able to find Bindy and asked him if they thought that his life was in danger. To this, he replied with his most famous line,
"Just want these guys to know you got another thing coming, bitch. I'm still around."
Bro, is this a TV show? Am I watching MTV? There's no way this real. Oh, this is like straight out of a movie. This is some real movie shit. There's no way, bro. There's no way.
Now Now at this point, the city obviously has some major issues to figure out, since dog walkers were being murdered and gang leaders were beefing on the news. This is when the mayor organized 150
Niggas beefing on the
to
news.
investigate the killings, spending over $1 million to solve these crimes and take down Bindy. Eventually, the police arrested Bindy and 4 others, and charged them with the murder of the Assange brothers. 3 of the accused were released on a $100,000 bond, but they deemed Bindy and one other co-defendant too dangerous to release. The case ended up being one of the longest and most expensive in Canadian history because of all the security that was needed. Crown prosecutors spent 5 months laying out their case, which included over 100 witnesses and mountains of wiretap evidence. However, even with all of this,
Nigga, did they need the wiretap evidence? Fool. I'm pretty sure if the news niggas would ask them a question like, "Hey, did you kill this nigga at this time, at that moment, at that day?" I'm pretty sure he would have told them niggas. For they really beefing on the news for on some demon shit. Like, they crazy, folks. This some savage shit. This like beyond savage shit. This some real savage shit. Like this, like damn. Y'all demons.
effort, the case would eventually be thrown out, likely for something completely unrelated to the case itself. One of Bindy's co-accused was a man named Peter Gill. Peter had excellent grooming and a fancy suit that resulted in him catching the attention of a woman named Jillian Guess in the jury box. Apparently she was attracted to him and wasn't trying to hide it either, with her always flipping her hair and looking over at him while smiling flirtatiously. As I said earlier, 3 of the accused were released on bail, and Peter was one of them. So 3 months into the trial, Jillian and Peter met outside of the courtroom. During their date together, Peter explained to her that he was a victim of racism and that he was completely innocent. She ended up believing him, and that resulted in them having sexual relations that night. That was the first time in Canadian history that a juror had a sexual relationship with an accused murderer while the trial was still in court.
These
Jillian
niggas
and her
is
fellow
tea.
jurors decided on a verdict on not guilty on both of the murders. However, less than a month later, Jillian and Peter were seen dancing together at a nightclub, so police started following them around, and not too long after, it became clear that they were dating. They were both arrested and charged with obstruction to justice, but luckily for Bindy, the court had no grounds to retry him for the murders, and he was a free man for the first time in 2 years. Only 3 months after his release, there was a stabbing at a strip club, 3 drive-by shootings, and 2 nightclub shootings that were all tied to him. There were even rumors mentioning that he would go to nightclubs and shoot his firearm at the ceiling. The only
Nigga,
purpose
what?
being intimidation and sending a message to the rivals that the boss was back in charge. However, this was a public display of dominance that wouldn't last long, because things started going downhill for him after that. In early 1996, one of Bindy's associates spotted 2 kilograms of cocaine off of a teenager named Randy Chan. It turns out that the 2 kilograms were diluted, and Bindy wasn't happy with this at all. So he stuffed Randy.
For I ain't gonna lie. He doing too much, bruh. He doing too much, bruh. And I ain't even gonna lie, bruh. His ass would have. American justice system is ass. It's ass. We know this. It's terrible. But once the feds get involved, folks, your ass is grass, folks. Like once the feds in America, once the feds get involved over here, your ass is done. They coming. Your ass doing life. It don't matter if you ain't killed nobody. They gonna slap your ass with a conspiracy charge and your ass been do 1,000 years. Even if they can't prove that shit. For I think you did that shit, for. It's one of those. And these niggas on the news saying, when I see you, I'm gonna shoot you in the forehead. Like, that's too savage. That's too savage. Like, damn, you just don't care type savage. Like, man.
Randy in his trunk and drove away. But this was very dangerous because Randy was the younger brother of a high-ranking member in the Lotus King. The next 56 hours were spent by Bindy negotiating the terms of Randy's release. Police learned about the kidnapping and sent 70 officers to look for the missing teenager. Eventually, Randy was released in exchange for 5 kilograms of cocaine. However, Bindy ended up getting arrested and charged for unlawful confinement. He told TV cameras, quote-unquote, "I'll beat this one for sure," as he was going into a van for a court appearance.
Get the cameras out of my face, or I might have to remove them.
Well, Bindy
Bro, this nigga's like a character, like from a TV show.
Eventually, they became friends and started to trust each other. And this is when Bindy started recruiting him to become a member of his group named the Elites, who were basically a crew of people whose job was to assassinate Bindy's enemies. Eventually, Bindy was released on bail, and that's when the Elite got to work. Ball estimates that in the next few years, the Elite were responsible for roughly 25 to 30 murders. The murders began as strategic moves that helped the gang prosper, but eventually it got to the point where they were handling Bindy's personal beefs. And everything changed in the summer of 1998 when Ball and some associates were out at a nightclub. A young associate named Derek called Bindy and asked him to join them. Bindy said he was too tired, and Derek replied by calling him a baby. At the end of the night, Ball and the rest of the guys at the nightclub got into a truck and drove home. When they got home, they saw Bindy waiting for them. After he saw Derek in the back seat, he got in and told Ball he wanted to go for a drive. Ball, Derek, and Bindy ended up going to a secluded area when Bindy told Ball to stop the car because he wanted to get out and take a piss. As he left the car, he dragged Derek out with him. He then shot and killed him and told Ball to help him dump him in the river. Ball never trusted Bindy again after that night because he figured that if Derek could get killed over an insult, then nobody was safe, including him. But things only keep on getting crazier. In early December, Ball's suspicions of Bindy became true. Ball and Bindy were driving to a nightclub when Bindy made an illegal turn and got pulled over by the police. And that's when Bindy pulled out a gun and told Ball to tell the police that it was his, resulting in him breaching probation and receiving 8 or 9 months in prison. But the unusual part about all of this was that Ball knew that Bindy was always careful with carrying a gun, and would only have one on him if he planned on using it. That's when you realize that Bindy might have planned on murdering him that night. Ball ended up pleading guilty and taking the time, not because he wanted to take the fall for Bindy, but because of the perfect alibi he would receive. Ball said, quote unquote, "When Bindy was getting reckless, I took over the elite. I told them to get him. I gave them $20,000 and they got Bindy in a nightclub." At 1:30 a.m. on December 20th, 1998, Bindy was shot in the back of the head at close range inside of a nightclub in downtown Vancouver. Over 300 witnesses were there when the murder happened, but nobody came forward to identify the shooter, and to this day, the shooter was never arrested.
Bruh, he was too savage, bruh. He was just too savage. They had to kill him. He was too savage.
Bindy Johal clearly had a
They had to
violent
kill
story
him.
and was involved in lots of criminal behavior. But at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that Bindy is seen as a hero to many people, and I'll talk about why now. Doing my research on Bindy, I saw a common trend from a large part of the community who knows about him. You see, back in the 80s, racism was a very major thing in Canada, so many people would essentially bully Indian people. Lots of Indians were immigrating to Canada at that time and would get insulted and assaulted for no reason. Much of the Indian community who was around and facing racism at that time agrees that Bindy is obviously no saint and was still a criminal and a drug dealer who caused lots of violence. But lots argued that when he became known in the city and the face of an Indian person was on the news terrorizing the city, things changed, and for racism towards Indian people's case, for the better. Since now brown people weren't just a defenseless target. Bindy showed that any race, including Indians, can be dangerous and that you can't do whatever you want to them. Apparently Bindy even dealt with people who were racist even if they were in his own ranks. But on the other end of the spectrum, there's lots of people who understandably only see him as a criminal. Let me know what you thought about this down in the comments. Also comment if you want to see more videos in other parts of Canada as well.
Nah, that's some real, I ain't gonna lie. This nigga was fucking evil as shit, I ain't gonna lie. He was evil, but he did help them with the little racist shit. I ain't gonna lie, that shit, it did help everybody else, low key. But he was just too savage, bro. He was out of fucking control, bro. He was out of control. He had, like, I ain't gonna lie, they was gonna kill his ass. They had to kill his ass. He was just too damn savage. He was too savage. For no reason. Nigga killed shorty ass for no reason, folks. Like, folks, did you just really just kill my man's because he called you a baby? What? Like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, I don't see why dude even still was like around him after that. I would have got gone. Like, bro, I don't want to be around you no more. Like, nah. It would have been like, nah, I'm good. I would have been going after that day. For he really just killed that man and told us that, hey, for help me throw his fucking body, for like, nah, yeah, damn. I see why they call this nigga Scarface. This worse than Scarface though. Holy fuck, nigga, he couldn't control himself. He was just doing anything. You say one word to him, he fucking smoking your stupid ass. Damn. There ain't no Canada. Well, violence everywhere. So I ain't gonna say I ain't know Canada was like that. Nigga, I did know Canada was like that. Violence is everywhere. But that's crazy though. He was a little too savage, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He was too savage, bro. They had to kill his ass.